Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Tonight we're going to talk about the Windows terminal. Yes, it sounds like a simple thing, but it's so if you're using WSL, like I am, then you are spending a lot of time inside the terminal, and then this means that you would use Windows Terminal. The other option is not good. So the default installed terminal or command line is not good. But if you install this Windows Terminal right here, you just search for terminal in the Windows Store, Microsoft Store. You can press install, and then you will get a quite cool terminal, especially when you are dealing with WSL, and maybe you are also playing around with PowerShell. Okay, then we just open our tab in PowerShell. Maybe you're also playing around with the command prompt. Maybe you want to run some, just some Windows bash scripts or shell scripts. Sorry, not bash, but shell scripts, Windows shell scripts. Remember, if you're writing script, there is a huge difference between PowerShell scripts and normal bat files, for instance, and normal Windows shell scripts. Just so you know. And I would definitely recommend, of course, I would recommend you to use Linux shell scripts like bash or for just normal shell. And I would also recommend you to use OMIC shell on your WSL. But this video is actually about the terminal, because we are spending a lot of time there. So why do we accept that it looks very, very bad? That is a good question, right? First of all, inside the terminal, you can actually get into a situation where you cannot, where you don't have a window that you can move around, and that is if you have enabled the focus mode. So I'm going to show you how to enable and disable focus mode to begin with. This was really annoying to me, at least. So every time I started up my terminal, then I had focus mode enabled the first time. So when I started up Windows, my terminal was also starting up because I wanted it to start up just by default. And then focus mode was enabled. So I had to look it up on the internet, and then it says press Ctrl Shift P, and here we get a lot of settings that we can use for our terminal. And here there's something called focus. Toggle focus mode. Look down here, this toggle focus mode. This was enabled by default on my terminal. So then I'll just enable now. Now you can see this is focus mode. So now we're very focused. We're much more productive, right? We cannot see all the other tabs. No, it's really, really annoying. So just turn it off if it's already turned on. And another thing, that is the settings. You can see here I have different look and feels for each terminal. This also means that I can actually see that there's difference. I can see what kind of shell I'm in without actually looking at the top of the tab, because I have different look and feels. Actually, my command prompt in PowerShell, they actually use the same the same color schemes. But I'm going to show you how to set that up exactly. First of all, the default fonts. There are not that many default fonts to choose from, so if you don't want the Windows font, and I actually like the JetBrains Mono because I'm spending a lot of time inside PyCharm and IntelliJ, and then I like that my terminal has the same font. So if you go to googlefonts.google.com, then there's tons of fonts there. So feel free to download other fonts also. But there's actually a group that you can enable when you are searching for fonts that's named Mono. So if you go to fonts, there is a group somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is actually. Here we have all of the groups. Just untick all of those that is not monospace, because we want a monospace font when we are playing around in the terminal. It looks cooler. So, and it's also more consistent if you have to see, sometimes the console output is actually formatted. So if you have to see something that is put up in an ASCII table or something like that, then you want to have monospace inside your terminal. And here you can write a terminal, then you can write something, and then you can actually see how it looks in those different with those different fonts right there. And it's very, very easy to install. You just download, and then you get a file, and then you double-click that file. Let us actually try. I actually have one here. I just tried another font. This was VT323. There was a guy who made this font right here. It just looked cool and old-fashioned. It looked like an old, very, very old game, right, or something like that. So I downloaded that, and then you can just install. You can just press the install button right there. So first of all, you open the font file, and then you get this view right here, and then you can press install, and then you will get the font installed on your Windows system. And then after that, you can actually choose it from the settings inside the terminal that I'm going to show in just a minute. Another thing there's also this page right here, 1001freefonts.com, and here you can also search for a lot of cool fonts. These are the alien fonts that I'm looking at right here. And of course, you can also download those and use those. Of course, the barcode would be a bit difficult, I think, to use as inside the terminal, but your colleagues would actually be impressed if they see that you're using the barcode. Maybe they'll be worried if you're using the butterfly font or something like that. So, of course, it's up to you. Yes, that was the font. So now we have downloaded and found a cool font that we want to use. So now we want to apply it. There are two ways to, if you don't know how to get the settings menu up, then you will press Ctrl-Shift-P again. And then you will just search for settings, and then you will go to settings right here. But you can also see it actually says Control plus comma right there. So if I press Control comma, then I get into the settings right here. And you can see I have some profiles in the left side. I have default, PowerShell, command prompt, as an Azure Cloud, and Ubuntu. So if I want to change Ubuntu, then I'll press Ubuntu right here. And then there's a tab up here that says Appearance. And then you could actually also see that I'm using WSL, it says right here. So if you have multiple WSL instances, I don't think you actually would have that usually. I've actually not seen a setup with anyone that actually had more than one WSL, Windows Subsystem for Linux setup. Yeah, so that would probably be something like this you would have right there. Then you have a starting directory right there, and there's also an icon, which is right now is the little penguin that we have up in your tab right there. And then it has a name, Ubuntu, so you can also rename your profile if you want to. Here we have appearance. This is how it will look like, and I've chosen this text. I have a text color scheme right here. So if you don't have your own color scheme, you need to create another your own color scheme. You can create that another place up under color schemes where I'm pointing right now. You cannot change your colors right here, but you can change the font. So you can change font right now. I like the okay, let us change it actually. I'll choose that VT323. Then I can see I get a preview up in the top left corner right there. And then I want to create a new color scheme. Add new. This could be the let us name that to something else, like Mike Dark. The reason why I'm not using a dark theme with a dark background is actually then my lighting settings actually sometimes changes so much that that the chroma filter I have on the video, so you cannot see the green blanket behind me. That sometimes then it actually changes. The color changes. The color changes. The lighting changes so much that that you can actually see the green blanket suddenly. So that's why I'm not using the dark background. But let us have a dark background. It does not need to. How dark should it be? It could be something like a dark blue. Be nice, right? So like this, and then we want the foreground. I like the orange colors actually, the orange brownish colors. So let us try to see if you can find something like that. Of course, it needs to be a light color since the background is dark, then the foreground should be light. So like this. And yeah, that's actually it. So then I can go back to my Ubuntu. Then I can say that I want to use the new mic dark right there. And then I can also choose my cursor, like a filled box instead if I want to. I can also have a small image, maybe of a rabbit or something. And then you can just place the background image right there. Oh, that's actually a background image. That's if you want to have a background image on the terminal itself. I just thought it was the cursor image, but that's not it. Let us check the filled box right there. I can also take double underscore. That's I don't think I've ever used that actually. So text formatting, bright colors, acrylic. It's just so then we can make it so we can look through it. So transparent. Here we have some Windows padding, just for fun. We can actually set it up a little bit. Scroll bar visibility, visible or hidden. Let us save these changes right here, and let us go back to our terminal. Now it looks like this. Yes, the font is not good. The lighting settings is actually still fine for my video. So now I'll go here and change it back again now because I don't want that. I don't want the padding. Then I'll set it back to 8, and the color scheme. Maybe it's just the font. So let's try with the JetBrains Mono like this. Save, and yeah, it looks much better, right? It looks much better. And also because I'm using OMC shell, so there are some colors for directories, for instance. yeah, so you have to bear that in mind also, of course. What else could we change right here? Something with history, how many lines should be stored as history. And bell notification style audible. You can also flash the window. It'll also be fun. Flash the taskbar. Yeah, let's just add some effects, right? Okay, so let us change the colors a little bit more. So I'll set this to a bit darker, and the fore color I would like that a bit more orange-like. Maybe something like this. Yeah, but of course you can fiddle with this yourself. This is just to give you an idea, but it is actually quite important which fonts that you are using, right? So I think it's important, and also how it looks like, because you're spending a lot of time out in that terminal right there. So let us try to do that, and then the cursor color white. No, it's a bit boring. Let's try matrix green. Yeah, selection background. Is that white? It could also be a nice pink. Let us try to see this. Then we'll see. Then we'll mark something. Oh, that was not. This was the one we wanted. So then I'm marking something, and then it gets. Yeah, it's actually not that bad. It's actually not that bad. It's easy to see what's marked actually. I would say this is a good color scheme actually. So job's done actually. I would say. Was there anything else? That's just what I'm thinking. Yeah, at startup actually. Yes, startup. Startup is also very important. At startup, you don't want it to start up with the PowerShell, for instance. You don't want to start it up with the Windows shell, because usually when you write shell scripts, it's something that you want to run on some other server somewhere. And that usually runs inside Docker, and it is usually Linux. So of course you want usually to start up with Ubuntu. Also, you are much more efficient with a Linux terminal, just because you have the SSH key per default. You have all of the OpenSSL features. You have the SDK manager, etc., etc. There's just so many tools in Linux that makes it much faster to use than the Windows PowerShell. And of course, you are more than welcome to challenge that statement, but that's my opinion. So then we have the default terminal application. That is Windows Terminal right now. And that is okay. That is the one we want. Launch on machine startup. Yes, also enable that, because usually I want to use the terminal, or at least it does not take long before I need the terminal. If you don't want it to start up, then I think you should at least pin it to the taskbar, so it's always in the taskbar. Launch mode. Look here. Look here. That is where it was set to focus before. And that was my problem. It was set to focus right there. They set it to maximize. That's what I would recommend. It does not give you any more focus that it's in focus mode. New instance behavior, create a new window. I think it actually should attach to the most recently used. It's okay that it creates new tabs. I don't need a new window. You can also have very fast. You can easily swap between the tabs. So launch size, but we want it maximized. We don't want any limit on that. So that is actually it. That's just what I want to show you. You might say that, but that's a small thing, right? But it is a huge thing when you spend that much time inside the terminal. Then it's important that your terminal look and feel is nice. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great evening. Hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.